Good afternoon.
That's always the scariest moment in the market, and it brings us to
the, mo-
another.
the man with the most
It's a
expensive good afternoon.
the most expensive good afternoon, and it brings us to another FOMC decision meeting today, and this is a market outlook session where we're gonna anticipate how the market is going to react. And on today's show, I have Dr. Crypto, who is the founder of Next Trade. We also have engineer Bimbola right here with us, though he's joining us audio. Seems like we've lost him, but he could be joining us anytime soon. So, welcome, Dr. Crypto. How do you do?
Yeah, I'm good. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Let's see. Okay, Dr. Crypto Engineer is having some challenge. It crashed on his end. So, today
Okay.
is another FOMC decision day. So, what are your expectations? Like, what's your vibes? What are your sentiments?
Okay. So currently, if I'm to talk about my expectation, like my expectation of what the market can do, will likely do after maybe a possible rate cut announcement, I would like us to go back to the beginning of this whole bull market. You understand? From we have some of the major catalyst of the market happen this period. We
Hmm.
expected Trump, a pro-US president, winning. We expected ETF approval, right? We expected Bitcoin
Yeah,
halving. Right? When you look at these three major, some of the most anticipated events in the market, right? One thing I did was
yeah,
try to follow up with the after reaction of these most anticipated event, right? So
events.
when you look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
especially ETF approval, right? We expected that once we have ETF approval, majority of the market, once we have ETF approval, and then everything will just blow off because institutional institutions with big monies, billions, they are coming into the space, right? So the majority expectation was a blow off, a mega run, right? But then the market reacted in a different way. Even Trump win when he won, right? When he won the election, we had a little run, and then we had a change in direction. So my expectation of this market with the level of anticipation we have for this rate cut, my expectation at this moment is missed. It's missed. We can see a quick fake out. Let's say we have a rate cut by maybe 50 points, which is what we are expecting, right? We can
yeah,
have a quick fake out, right? Then maybe after that, shake out some hands before the continuation. Even during CPI data that was released recently, was it September 11 or so? Yeah, when it
yeah,
was released, right? The data remained favorable to rate cuts. It was a bit unchanged, right? And
yeah.
then the market, we saw that quick reaction too. There was a quick decline before a continuation. So I'm still approaching this market with that same mixed feeling that okay, if we have a record, we can likely see a fake out before we head into the 120K, which is the current major resistance level.
So you're approaching the market with paranoia.
Yes, yes, I am paranoia at this point.
Okay, we're diving into this rate cut. What do you expect? 25 basis point or 50 basis point? Donald made a tweet, or I think that was in Truth Social, where he spread during Jerome Powell for a 50 basis
Okay.
point cut. And me, if you ask me from a capitalist standpoint, I think the market is due for a 50 basis point cut. And I think Jerome Powell is slow. Jerome Powell is slow. However, from economic books like the theory, it looks like the market may not be able to absorb 50 basis point cuts without risking inflation back, especially coupled with Donald Trump war, trade war. So as we're diving into this rate cut decision, the market is pricing in already a larger certainty of 25 basis point. However, there is still executive pressure, heavy pressure from Donald Trump for a 50 basis point cut. So as we are diving in, what do you think? What do you think has a higher chance of happening more? 25 basis point or 50?
Okay. Looking at the currently looking at the Fed funds terminal, right, which
Hmm.
is sitting around that 3% currently. The last time I
Hmm.
checked, 3%. That means the market is expecting uh up to three. Oh, we lost him.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I just spotlighted you.
Okay, okay. All right. So what was I saying? The Fed funds terminal, right? Currently sitting around
Yeah.
that 3%, right? And what that means is that the market is expecting up to three rate cuts this period, maybe this
This year,
year,
yeah.
to yes, to early next year. Yeah. So with that expectation and the terminal reading at this moment, I'm actually expecting up to 50 points, right? 50 BP cut. So I feel like based on the recent data from PPI to CPI, the market can actually absorb such rate up to 50, up to 50. So I expect that.
So, but then if we can if the market could accept up to 50 basis points, don't you think that's aggressive enough to rather take everything up without us looking at much paranoia of the downside? Because I'm also approaching this rate cut as well with the downside risks. I'm approaching with paranoia. I think two things will happen. Two things will happen. This either become a
Okay.
sell the news or we move up from here. But the chances of us moving up from here will have to uh, come if Jerome Powell give us more like a 50 basis point cut, and then he sounds very very positive, about the market. But then I also know that there are some whales that are using this as an opportunity to sell off. Some are still on the sidelines. But then a 50 basis point cut, does it not increase us the chances that instead of us having a drawdown, we move up from here? Mr. Abimbola, you could join the conversation. I just noticed you just joined us back.
Okay. For me, I Trump is actually ready to risk whatever the aftermath of 50 BP will be. Like Trump is ready to risk it for a rate cut, a considerable number of up to 50 rate cut. So and Trump is one crazy guy like that. So for me, my expectation is still between
Mm.
that 50 to 50.
Some of that thing, I'm seeing some people very, very scared at the moment. Look, why I acknowledge that we stand a short term drawdown. I see some persons who are very paranoia that this is the top. But the question I personally have, and I acknowledge there are some whales selling, but the question I have is, did Donald Trump come? Donald Trump is a ruthless capitalist. Do we think that
Yeah.
he went through all he went through to come back into the market, and the capital market is going to underperform when he's president. Meanwhile, if you remember what happened during COVID 19, despite everything that happened, he put the market on steroid. So, does
Yeah.
this support the thesis of a prolonged bear market? Like looking at Donald Trump' ability to put the market on steroid, his executive overbearing influence on the Feds. Do you support an extended bull market, or we top at the end of this year?
I think we had one of the most extended bear markets this period as well. And to me, for the
Yeah.
longer the bull market, the longer the bear market, and the longer the bear market, like the longer it extend, the longer I expect the opposite to extend to. So for me, the bull market,
Mm.
I expect it to extend. This I can't call the top here. I can't call the top here. So I expect to have an extended bull market this period. And with Trump being on seat and he's pro Bitcoin and all those, so I expect an extended bull market this period.
Okay, so supporting. It looks like we both bear the same sentiment of paranoia of a shorter term drawdown, but we still expect the bull market to still continue.
Exactly, exactly. So I
Mm,
expect that on the long run, on the higher time frame, we are still poised for
mm.
an extended bull market. But we could see some quick shakeout, fake out, and all that at the short term, right? But when you zoom out, I'm expecting an extended bull market this period.
Then I think the market
Do
is
you agree with me? This is
don't
okay, engineer.
don't to play devil's advocate now. I would say that
Okay, please do, please do, please do.
I think the market is uh, it's like a ball. It has been it's treated like a ball, and right now the ball is so hard. Any small function like this, then you have the air going out of the ball. So if you look at
Mm,
the data from this is also though it's not the main tool that will be used to gauge the inflation in the US, but as one of the tools. Now, if you look at the CPI, the last data was actually higher than the previous one. You know, and when looking at the basic economic theory, when there is uh, an inflation or something, or a rise in price in consumer goods, that will not actually be the first time to start happening. Because if you cut rates at that point in time, it means that you want to encourage uh, lending, you want to encourage people to go to the bank, take loans, and take that to stimulate the economy somehow. So one people were expecting that there may be like 2 basis point cuts or 5 basis point cuts today. Well, the Fed actually go I don't know, but I think
Is it
the
my
economy is
network?
not due for
No,
cuts
I
at the
think it's from
moment
him.
because
I think it's from him. I'm also making up what he's saying.
okay, okay, you can't hear me now, right?
Yeah, Abimbola, Abimbola, we're trying to like get what you're saying clearly. So I think you're having some network challenge. Maybe likely you could just troubleshoot and join the conversation afterwards. So I think he's trying to he's talking about the concern in the economy, and so a rate cut does not equal a cure. I don't know if that's where he's leading it. And Uh, personally, for me, if this is the top, setting paranoia, because you know there is even something I would like to ask you as a question. Some people may say this is the worst bull market ever, and this is the worst bull market according to them because it did not follow the normal narrative Bitcoin pumps, Ethereum moves, large market cap, mid market cap, small market cap, then everything pumps. But by the way, maybe to the audience listening, would you like to explain to them why it did not move the way they were expecting the market to move this bull cycle?
Okay. For this one, I think it's just a common logic. The previous bull market we had, right? We were having between uh
Mm,
5,000, 10,000, 1,000 major tokens, right? Having 5,000 and
mm,
those major tokens. So whatever liquidity that was coming in, it was evenly distributed to this token, to this project. And there's
yeah.
a very high chance that out of this 1,000 or 5,000, you would have positioned in at least the in 1% of it, right? So it was easy for liquidity to get
Mm,
into those tokens that people were holding, right? But currently, a recent data came
mm,
out on pump.fun. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. About 13,000. All right, about 13,000 tokens was launched on pump.fun yesterday alone. 13,000. And out of those 13,000, we had only a 0.9% success rate. Is 0.9%. So
whoa.
what that means is majority of these people that are currently calling themselves trader, they live on pump fund, desk screener. That is their grant for now. And with that data, what that data is showing is that they have a 1% chance, a less than 1% chance of actually hitting those big run, right? Now, with those numbers of token being launched every day, if you go to desk screener, you also see how hundreds of projects being launched that are reading 20 million, 30 million, 40 million in valuation. So the liquidity that is coming in now is not just going into few projects. We now have thousands of projects in the market that are all sucking liquidity from the market. So people do not the regular trader, the regular retail trader is not seeing the movement in their bags. So it's understandable for them to say, okay, it's the worst bull market because the liquidity is not going around.
So do you agree at this point the relevance of mentorship based investing? Because most of the persons who are complaining about this are persons who do not have insights. They do not have time to do as much research that they would have loved to. Yet there is somebody who maybe you have the time for research, you have the time for analysis, you're following the market cycle, you're following the market narrative. So if someone, and first of all, I always believe that people should be students and not necessarily followers. So if you're following somebody, like you're having a mentorship based approach to the market, and then you're following somebody who knows what he's doing anyway in the market, they should have known how to position in the market and not being in the market blindly, sticking to all narrative and missing out in all the search that's happening, because so many tokens. I saw baby BFT over seven, was it 750x?
Yeah. Okay. So regarding that aspect, you know,
Uh,
investing and trading is actually a very serious business.
yes.
Investing is a serious business and a game of those top guys, rich guys. You
Mm,
understand?
mm,
But
mm.
the way retail traders are their approach to the market this period is totally different from the approach you are expecting someone to give to a real business like investing. Their approach is more of gambling. Just pick one project in the market out of millions of projects. Pick one project and then keep praying for luck to shine on your side so that somebody will pump your bags. All right. So a very wrong approach. No mentorship, no guide, no sound knowledge. You understand? And when you look at some of the things that onboarded millions of people this circle, right? We have Telegram tapping, we have pump.fun, right? So those two things that and influencers are shilling, right? So those two things that onboard the majority of retails this period, they didn't promote education. They didn't promote solid knowledge. They didn't promote the importance of mentorship and getting the right guide in the space, right? They promoted quick money, tap, 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 and then you make money. All right. So we have a lot of people who are approaching the market the wrong way.
Oh, makes sense. Dr. Crypto is talking about, you don't buy and pray someone come pump your back. I totally believe that prayers, you do prayers before investing. Once you're in the market, you follow strategy and a plan. Then once you exit the market, you could do Thanksgiving, thanking God
Hence,
for the bountiful
exactly.
harvest. And something else you said that is very important is that trading and investing is serious business. You know, our generation is easy to make money, the same way it's hardest to make money. And is easy to make money because due to technology we have access to tools. Investing and trading used to be the game for the wealthy, elite class.
Yeah,
It's an elite class game. But thanks to the internet, me and you, we just with our phone, we can access the capital market. And before now, this elite, you need to have a stockbroker, you need to know how to shake hands, you need to know how to go to cocktail parties, you need to know how to sign contract, you need to know how to seal deal. But just with your phone, a nerd can just use his phone and start making money. So easy access to the market, which is a blessing, still tends to be the cause because now we have easy access to the capital market, but then you don't take your time down to study, learn, to understand that the you need to also keep updating your knowledge. You know, I'm still taking courses, I'm still paying for courses, advanced courses. I'm still throughout yesterday night I was awake till about after 4. I still woke up to 7 today. Okay, probably
yeah.
I guess so. So many persons don't understand that this is real serious business. That certain persons will you even create a free course, give it out there, and they are not willing to take the course. Or even when you say, okay, let me take you on board mentorship, but this is a fee, they think you want to make money off them. Whereas
That's
you are still paying your own self to still advance your knowledge and still stay updated. Trading and
that's
investing is serious business.
serious
Hmm.
business. Serious business. It's something that the regular Joe like me and
Hmm.
should not ordinarily have access to, right? You have to belong to a
Yeah.
circle, you have to have access to maybe a stockbroker, this, and you have to go through different process before you can really do this. But now we have easy access to the internet, to the phone, to brokers, exchange, right? And now we also have easy access of onboarding, right? Before it has to
Yes.
be a form of rigorous learning, training before in onboarding people, right? But you saw this Telegram tapping, pump fund, DJing, just onboard anybody, and then those communities they are not really uh putting out the emphasis on the need for education, right? And we've seen, with pump fund, some of these creators they've turned $10 to $1 million, right? And that become the narrative of the day, whereby everybody that is coming, the focus is on turning their $10 to $1 million, without knowing that okay, there is a less than 1% chances of them doing such. So the focus is on the wrong thing entirely because of how easy it is to now get on board, how easy it is to now invest and trade and all those things. So there's always evil in good and there's good in evil, right? So that's one of the evil. So the focus is on the wrong thing.
Personally, I used to say that if you know that the market is it's a wealth transfer market, you will take your investment and trading game seriously. And the beauty for me about this market is that when you make money, it's not easy as that. A market where 90% of people constantly lose and only 10% of persons consistently make money. And in most cases, most persons get to that 10%, fall back to that 90%, go back in there. It makes you being successful something that isn't easy to get. And this actually, but then the market, the money you could make is just so much. It's just so much. But many persons, because of the easy access, overlook, the place of knowledge, staying updated with the market. But talking about pump.fun, what do you think about pump.fun in the cryptocurrency ecosystem with the millions of tokens that have been launched on pump.fun and sapping liquidity? Is it good or bad?
Okay. No, overall, for me, I would say overall, pump.fun is net negative to the space. Seriously. For me,
Oh.
it's net negative. I understand their impact in massive adoption, right? Massive
Mm,
onboarding. We of course we expect that, okay, as the industry grows, we want to onboard more people. We want to at least be able to onboard 10%, 20% of the entire population. And pump.fun has done a great job in onboarding millions of people into the space, right? But aside
mm,
that, one of the major negative or impact of pump.fun is this sucking of liquidity. it, Before, right, you just have few projects. It is easier to do analysis, okay, team, what they are building, their utility, their value proposition, and all those things, and then you invest, and liquidity find its way there because it is a project with a lot of utility and all that, right? But these days, you see someone just create a shit coin, a meme, just go to pump.fun, click on it, and then sucking liquidity, millions of dollars, millions. We have a lot of shit coins too that are worth like double digit millions, some billions, right? It's
mm,
like
mm.
it's now like a graveyard for liquidity where people go and get slaughtered. It, it's a slaughter ground. That's what I would say, right? Where people go get slaughtered. You are trying to make money, but all the liquidity are being sucked into pump fund. And when you look at protocols, right, like real projects that are, give me a few minutes. When you look at projects, real projects that are building utility solutions that the space need, that we need, right, they are not really getting the revenue that pump fund that is not creating any real utility is getting. There was a time pump fund overtook what's it called, Ethereum, on daily revenue. You can imagine that.
Okay,
It's
let me track your words on something. You say pump.fun really has no utility. How true can this be? So pump.fun made it easier for anybody to launch a token. So with like $5, you don't need to go hire smart contract developers. You don't need to go hire a shitload of developers. You don't need to go think of ways you could provide liquidity. $5, you get the token ready. All you need to do is get a community for it. Is that not is a value proposition or a solution they brought into the market probably being abused?
okay. It is a solution, right?
Mm,
It is, yeah, it is a solution. It reduce the stress you have to go to into developing, into launching token. But launching token to what end? You understand? Launching token to what end?
for
And
fun.
when
For fun. Dot
that
fun.
is where the problem is. So when you weigh the good side, when you weigh the good side and the bad side, right? When you weigh the good side and the bad side outweigh the good side in a large margin, in a big margin. You understand? So when you weigh it like that,
Yeah, yeah.
and the bad side is overweighing and overshadowing the good side. So overall, net, it is net negative. So that is why I said it is net negative to the space.
Yeah, as much as I totally agree, because as much as I agree they are providing value, they are providing a kind of solution. You know, most persons start streaming on pop.fun and they'll bring like OnlyFans girls to be twerking just for attention. Some will be threatening to commit suicide, like doing crazy things, going out there looking for trouble, creating pranks, just doing anything for attention. But then, you talked about them overtaking Ethereum. Pump.fun make an average of $12 million daily. Good lord, times 30 days, that's like $360 million. The 31 days,
Imagine,
$372 million. That's
imagine
massive.
that all you just have to do is create a platform for people to launch
Mm,
tokens, and you are milking such money. So you see, pump fund, it's a kind of, I don't know, it's a kind of widen the gap between the 90% and the 10%. And now it's not even a gap between the 90% and the 10% again. It is now a gap, it's now create a gap between 99% and 1%. You understand? So it's really widened that gap, which is not healthy for an average Joe. You understand? It's not healthy for an average trader.
mm. We're seeing the best say pump.fun have do me bad thing. Pump.fun don't do am bad thing.
Pump.fun is like a
Yeah, it's a
casino where
casino.
you
It's a
where
casino.
you enter with a lot in your pocket, right? And
Mm,
immediately you exhaust the one in your hand. When you don't win, you want to bring those ones in your pocket. No, let me try again. You try again. Let me try again. You try again. You bring them out. Before you realize what is going on, you are down to zero. Before you
mm,
come back to your senses to say, oh, it's okay, don't let me try it again, you're down to zero because you just keep trying. It's like a casino until you win.
mm.
And the chances is just not increasing. The chances of winning is not just increasing. You understand? So overall, pump fun is not good for the space.
Well, for those who are listening to us, we're live on YouTube and also on X. So there are persons on X. I even noticed there are more persons watching us from X than there are from YouTube. So for anybody listening, look, approach if you want to do pump.fun, know that you're going into a casino. Like I always say, it is lack of education and investors not knowing what they are doing that makes the market, extremely risky. If you know that going to pump.fun is you getting money for, you're playing a bet, and take money that you're very, very comfortable losing. You're taking a gamble. I would totally understand, but don't take any serious money to pump.fun and think that pump.fun don't do you bad thing. Now you do yourself bad thing, sha. So an investor not knowing what he's doing, and like Dr. Crypto said, it's like a casino. When you lose, you will keep seeing other tokens that you missed, and be like, oh, let me use the word other tickets that you miss. I'm like, if I play this game, see where.
Especially seeing the same person on the table with you that's just
Yes.
turn his $100 to $10,000. You are in the same room. You are in the same room. You are in the same table, and he just did. So he wants you to, like, it makes you to believe that, oh, we are on the same table. We are in this together, and he just did this. I
Mm,
can do this. You understand? I can do this,
mm.
and that will just make you, oh, you keep trying, and before you know it, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, Abimbola, I don't know if you're back here with us. Let's take a bit of your perspective. But then, personally, before let's have a little details on pump.fun. With the amount of money pump.fun makes, we may think pump.fun is a joke, but I really think that they are innovation and capital in disguise. They can decide to, unlike even some utility based protocol out there that don't have money to make decisions, they don't even have money to do buyback. Pump.fun can casually throw in like $10 billion into the market and do a massive buyback. But then I think that with more capital influence they exert in the market, it may bring regulatory scrutiny, even though I understand that regulators are already considering pump.fun. But many are still arguing that it's not a place for the SEC. Others say it is, like there's an argument of whose jurisdiction it is or if it's a free market. But then, even at this time, I think that they have money to hire the best lawyers to draft out necessary disclaimer and whatever they want to. And that is why I think, first of all, investors' education is important. Investors' education and investors knowing what they are doing, because they need to protect themselves. But I think that with the more, I'm even considering, a bag of pump.fun. Personally, I'm considering. I'm not saying that I am going in, before someone says Gilbert is going in, so I want to go in. I'm considering. And why I'm considering is because people use the platform and these guys have money to do buyback if they want to. However, if I take position in pump.fun, I will likely let you guys know so that if I am going out, I also let you guys know I am going back. The best say it's not that I lost. Let me highlight his comment. It's not that I lost money, just what the cost to the market. Okay, I get.
See,
He also
whether you
says,
even, yeah, Mr. Gilbert, or whether you are on pump fund trading or not, the effect, you would definitely, the effect goes round to the,
it
like
ripples. It
the whole
ripples.
market. Yes, it ripples around the market because you would definitely notice uh the liquidity that, oh no, liquidity is out of this room. So something is sucking it. A demon is sucking this thing, right? So, and pump fund can become positive, net positive to the space if they choose to, if they decide to, if they choose to, right? They can come up with a plan of, okay, so percentage from the revenue of this platform should be going into the market, maybe to set up some utilities, tools, education, buybacks, and every other thing. Understand? So it can become net positive. But a few number of people hoarding and like controlling just that such amount of, it's really not good for the space. It's not.
okay. So
And
let's.
they should be able to also regulate their platform in such a way
Oh
that
yes.
you don't allow one person create more than so number of tokens, maybe per day or per month or a lifetime. You are supposed to create and work on maybe two, three projects. And after that, you should not be allowed to. There are some people who create 5 tokens per day. All these Asian countries, they create up to 10 tokens per day. They launch it, do 5x, 10x, they are out. They are creating the next one. You understand? So all these things we affect, it will ripple around the market, whether someone is in the market is on pump fund or not.
I totally agree. The one of the beauty of the cryptocurrency space when we began was that we're looking for ways to innovate, we're looking for ways to self-regulate, and we also had that much influence that CZ had in the market where after we had some exchanges that will become liquidated, customers had issues, then there was concern. How can we be sure that our money is with exchanges? And then we started doing this. What's the name of that? That audit, it's an industry standard these days that an exchange will have to show you an audit, proof of reserve,
Yes.
the proof of reserve. So I think that at this time, instead of us to like uh, which or about talk totally pump.fun, because they are providing a solution in the market, is we let them know that they also need to be self accountable. So just like you said, that make sure somebody cannot launch more than maybe a particular amount of token, or if you must launch a token, you do some kind of a know your customer, something like that. To a level, there should be more like an investment syndicate platform. I think this way, they will be able to innovate to something so powerful that could look like a new Wall Street, a new investment syndicate platform. That is for the new generation and can advance to something more beautiful and even better, personally for me. So I think it's time they start thinking of ways to self-regulate and not wait, or probably they may be trying to be ahead of the regulators, make as much money as they could make before
And
they think about.
yes, yes, like that regulation is very, very important. That's one of the things that really they should have put in place from the start. Supposing they put such thing in
Mm,
place with their level of market invasion, the mass adoption, and how easy they made it for developers to launch tokens, right?
mm.
It would have been something we should be praising, right? They made it easier. You don't have to go through Solidity or all those contracts, spend hours developing and all that, right? But the fact that they removed that regulation, they didn't find a way to self-regulate, and then anybody can create 100. Even if you want to create 100, you can create it and suck liquidity however you want. So that really change. It really overshadowed the good side.
As a matter of fact, right now they are a streaming platform, a video streaming platform like
Yeah.
this. So we could have said, why not we go to pump.fun and stream? Because we'll have more viewers there willing to view our show.
And
So
yes,
I just
they
think,
even have tips whereby as you are streaming, when
wow,
people find your content educative and they can relate, of course, they can tip you so or
are you
things.
serious?
Yes. Yes. One of my friends is
Wow.
trying it out and he told me that.
Thanks for letting me know this. I have to go check
You have
the
to.
audience over
You have
there.
to, and the fact that it is a crypto native platform, you understand, you have your
Mm,
target
mm,
audience there.
yeah.
The fact that it's a crypto native platform, you don't have to say, okay, you don't have to maybe share it out too much. You have those native, and there are people who are already into crypto, so they get to relate more with whatever you are sharing and all that.
Mm. Makes sense. So let's do like three things. One, we talked about a couple of things in regards to FOMC. So let's look at probably let's see if we could price in our views in terms of the chart. And then we will discuss next what investors should look out for as the decision is made, and also our expectation coming weeks and also coming months, and then we do some final words. So I found something very interesting, and I kept this chart right here. This is not what I really want to. Let me show you the other. So I was able to. Let me go to access screen. I was able to price in. Okay. So this was something that we did on Monday when we're looking at the technicals for the week. So some of you would have followed. This is the same chart. All I did was just I priced in where it caught is because this is where we are. This is where we're like we've always said we are range bound. We have been range bound, and there was little or no reasons for persons to be scared. Uh, so even though this is a resistant level, let me stay highlight level. So I think two things are going to happen. If we have, let's say, an aggressive rate cut and a statement from Jerome Powell is quite bullish, this may happen. This may happen to 120. We are approaching this with paranoia because there is a level of paranoia from investors who is understanding things happening in the economy, understanding that a rate cut does not equal a fix, understanding that there are some institutions that are using this as a sell the news event. We will have to test this new support level. And then there is one thing I don't trust. I don't even trust the fact that some of them may not use this as an opportunity to do a massive shakeout. And so, if there will be a massive shakeout, they may take us down to these 100K levels. Don't forget, supports are not necessary numbers; they are zones. So this is the zone that pushes us down even to this 97K. However, I still hope for an upward continuation personally for me. And I also found something else yesterday night while I was doing. Oh, Dr. Crypto, you want to give a reaction to that? Let me get back that shot. So this just happened to be what we are discussing about, but I captured this yesterday night. I captured this. Like
Yeah,
they always
we
say, the
we
shot
we could
tells a
see.
story. Back to this.
Um, this is exactly what we talked about. That okay, there could be a likely fake out before a continuation, right? And
Mm, yes.
yeah, this is exactly what we before any continuation. So it's still I'm still approaching the market with that mixed. That's why I said this morning that okay, I will be closing my positions. I'll be closing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get trapped in those liquidity hunts, and this is exactly what it is. So
Okay, makes sense. So let's look at another shot I captured, but then this particular one, what I captured more on it was the upside potential. But we'll also see. Let's see how we can still price in possibility of a drawdown. But this second shot, I was doing much more of the capturing of the fact that we still have a structure for an upside continuation. You see, this is still BTC. The chart tells an entire story. So, we're coming from a very long way, especially some of you have been following what we've been doing, the calls and all of that, where we had the inverted head and shoulder. When we got to this point and there was this drawdown, some persons, this was another point people were calling a bear market. However, we, we were able to still capture this, which led to an upward continuation. When we got to this point, this drawdown also, this was actually a flag. This was a flag. If some of you remember, this was a flag, but the flag had a shakeout. This was actually a flag, which, if some of you remember, were like by extension extreme. We got an extreme, and so this was an extreme, and we still told you we will still have a continuation, which we created a new all-time high here. When we got to this point, there was other fear, and we're also able to capture that. Look, we're still range bound. We're range bound. However, what we captured in the other chart is the chance that. So now we are diving into the market with two possibilities. While we move forward. So first of all, I want you to know that this is still a bullish structure. This is a bullish structure. However, there are possibility of two things happening. Either this, we test this level. Oh, I hate it when my PC is not responding to me. So we could either test this level, because don't forget we are approaching the market with paranoia, right? So we could either test this level, or we have another break to this level. And if we are breaking to this level, so this is what makes you a trader. Use of two scenarios playing out. And when the data favors a particular position more, we go long. And that's when we could boldly say there's an upward continuation, or we're about having a drawdown. But the market is positioned in a way where, there are three things you do in the market. Number one is you could go long. Number two, you short the market. The third thing you could do in the market is doing nothing. So we are at the level where doing nothing makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of
Doing
sense. Yes.
Yes, doing nothing, because we could still have we could still steer. So we could have two test this support level, this other support level, or continuation. And of course, we are not still taking out the fact that depending on what happens today in the market, if there's overly bullishness,
Yeah,
we still
on a
continue
regular.
still with a little of a time.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, continue. It was network.
Okay, so right now, the best thing to do in the market is stay on the sidelines, and then we see the direction the market decides. However, this is on the micro time frame. On the more bigger time frame, the market still have some upside continuation to still take, and these are the levels. Let me still take this out so you can see it very clearly. So on some bigger time frame, I'm capturing this structure because this is a bullish structure and there's no break of structure yet. If there was a break of structure, we would let you know that okay, the market structure has generally changed. But then this is a bigger time frame bullish signal. And looking at this, you could see that the market had a breakout and this is a healthy retest. You can see it's obvious. After
Yeah.
this inverted head and shoulder breakout, healthy retest within a range. And could we test this other range? Yes. But then what does the structure says afterward? Look at the levels. And if we clear these 140K levels, we're very close to our target. Some of you who have been following our analysis, especially I think once me and Dr. Crpto, is it 2 years ago, Dr. Crpto invited me to his live where we were discussing that the market had bottomed, and also we're talking about targets. Dr. Crpto, we are really coming a long way with the audience, from a very long way with the audience. So we had a target of 145 to 150K BTC, and we've done 123. But with this structure, you can see clearly that we still have, once we break out from this all-time high, we will be testing the 140K, which is near our 145 to 150K target. So these are what you should pay attention to. As an investor, I still think that these are great times to dollar cost average into the market. As a trader, especially for those who always take positions, where personally I always do this, where the moment I'm sure of a trend, like trend continuation, instead of me, if I have, let me lose a small amount so you people will not think I have money. If I have $10, instead of instead of me putting the $10 on the spot market, I will take it to the futures market and do 5x investment long. Simple investment long. And I try to use like five so that it can absorb some drawdown. So now instead of me taking $10 to the market, I've taken $50 to the market. It's the same thing if you do $10,000, you do 5x, it means you have taken $50,000 to the market. If it's 100,000, you have taken $500,000 into the market. However, we only do this when we have confirmed the beginning of a new trend. So I'm not investment long yet. I'm on the sidelines. My trades, I'm also on the sidelines. So these are kind of approach to the market. But then something else, Dr. Crypto, why we still follow what's happening at the macroeconomic scene, what's happening in the US economy, because the US economy superimposes its will on the entire world's economy. For African investors that we still face inflation, I think there was a new inflation data, that of Nigeria, that came out of 2020. Am I right? Which is massive.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, how should African investors approach the market knowing that we are facing inflation within our local currencies? Once we move even to the US dollar, the US dollar still faces its own inflation, but it's better than that of our local currency. And yet we still put this money into the volatile cryptocurrency market because we are looking for a way to outperform the super inflationary environment as a Nigerian or Africans.
Okay. This morning, it was just this morning that I was, should I say, scolding myself that, guy, you're an African, you're a Nigerian, and you don't anticipate and follow up with your local economics data like you did with US. And I was even thinking, okay, I'm still going to put out a post and ask Africans how many FOMC meeting, how many rate cuts, CPI, PPI data of your country do you know, right? And this is because our local data, right, our local macroeconomics does not really have that much impact on the market we are playing in, right? So we are kind of playing in a market that is not limited to our
Mm.
local economy, right?
Yeah.
That our local economy has little influence on. So it justify our reason for focusing on a bigger economy that affects the industry we are playing in. You understand? So that's it. Our local one has a little impact on the market we are playing in.
For me, this was what I really loved about crypto once I got into the cryptocurrency market. I realized that despite being a Nigerian and I exist in the Nigerian economy, that there is going to be liquidity. A lot of money is going to flow within this new system. And one way I could, because the Nigerian economy puts you in survival mode. I knew that one way that I could outspace this economy is paying attention to what is happening in the cryptocurrency market. And I think that's what made the early adopters of crypto, very, very smart. We're like the guys who saw tomorrow and were able to block into another economy that exists parallel, even kind of away from the traditional market, to live our life. And that's why it doesn't really concern us what's happening. But as patriots, I am look. I firmly believe that as men, we owe first of all allegiance to God. We owe it then to our family because we need to create legacies. And when we're looking at legacy, we're looking at our family names and then country. This is. And then it's an honor to serve your family just as it's an honor as well to serve your country. So regardless, let's try to pay attention to what's happening in our local economy. Let us also play within the local indigenous space, give our contribution, give our value, and participate in the broader conversations of what's happening in our local economy and also local industry scene.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I use the word scored. That I was
Yeah.
scolding myself today. That, oh, come on, you have to, because I can't remember the last time I followed those that data from my own. So I have to uh, come back, pay attention to it, and also see how, because these little things, this thing that is looking small, little, right? It could,
Yeah.
in the future, you just see that, okay, someone somewhere who really matters is actually following you up with this thing. And then before you know, you are called into a position that because you've proven your competence, right? And not
Oh yeah.
just internationally alone, right? And if they are calling you, they are calling you first to the national economy, right? So it's very important that we also pay attention to the local economy too.
And you know, especially for listeners, I think listeners should understand that this is the first economic revolution happening in the world that we as Africans were participating in. From the GSM revolution, the internet revolution, we did not really participate. But crypto and blockchain is one that we are moving alongside with the world. And
Yes.
so on your mask, get set, we are running alongside with the entire world. So it's easier for you to create impact. For me, like I used to say, cryptocurrency gave me a name. It also gave me change for my pocket. And this happened because I took my time to learn, study, understand. I've been able to share speaking stage with governors, share speaking stage with ministers, with lawmakers, with law enforcement agencies, and also participate in the broader, economic conversations that happen, all because of this market. So it's an opportunity for you to run with the world. So don't just come into the market with the get rich quick scheme mindset. Nah. Think long term. Think building an empire. Like Dr. Crypto say, you could be called up for conversations, and then you need to build competence. You don't know who is watching.
You
So
don't
this is
know.
about
You don't know.
you don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
It could be from Facebook that you are doing your little thing, putting out, churning out valuable content, saying, sharing your opinions, your views of the market. There's someone watching. You'll be shocked one day that you receive a message or a call of someone complimenting what you are doing and inviting you and all those things. So yeah, that is why there's a saying that whatever is worth doing at all is
It's
worth
what
doing
doing
well.
well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Worth doing well.
How you do little things is how you do big things. How you do little things is how you do big things. And it's about our time, so you have final words for the audience. And about an hour, and I think an hour well spent. Let's do this more often, Doc.
Yes, I want to do it more often with you. And, every time I get on a call with you, I just learn something new, see more reasons to, pay attention to these things. You are one of the technical analysts like that I respect so much from your analysis.
Thanks, man.
It 2022 that we had this kind of debate between you and
Mm,
someone that said market capitulation is not in, and it was below 20K
yeah,
when Bitcoin was below 20K that we had
yeah,
that. Yes, and you started echoing it from that point that capitulation is in. So
yes.
from then, you've been one of the best TA that technical analysts that I've ever come across. So I want to do this more often with you and also learn
Yeah.
along the way with everyone on the live session.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback. I appreciate. And that conversation, that live debate you held, for me was one of the best conversations I've really had. I love debates. I personally love debate. I grew up in a household where my dad encourages us to debate with him. I debate with my elder brother, debate with my elder sister, and also my younger sister. Where sometimes we debate not because we have a particular stance, but want to weigh value. And I believe that what builds civilizations is the tolerance for different ideas. It's what pushes the boundaries of civilization. It's what pushes industries, to do better. And these have put me into some troubles where I'm trying to weigh value with someone, and the person rather attacks me instead of the idea. But
Yeah.
then for us to evolve as an industry, evolve as a space, evolve as nation, as patriots, evolve as citizens, we need to be very tolerant to people of different ideas. I was attacked even for that view anyway, but I don't really have much problem with it. But imagine if most of these persons attack. We're very tolerant to just listening to, okay, let me just understand what Mr. Gilbert is saying. This does not mean I need to believe him. Let me just get his perspective. So let's have more conversations like this. There's also a whole lot I learned from you. I've called you a couple of times too. I need views on community management and also marketing. And look, I know I'm a good trader, but I don't know how you pull up. I don't know how you pull up the amount of percentage returns you pull up in the futures market. I don't know how. So exchange of
We'll
ideas.
discuss that. Yeah.
Yes. Exchange of ideas like this are very, very important, especially for our audience. So I also thank everybody who joined today's live stream, wherever you're watching from X, from YouTube. Feel free, leave comments, tell us what you learned most. We will be watching your comment. Let me see if we could view some here. There is a strong project I would like you to look into after this live stream. Okay, I'm just seeing that. Okay, the best is say let it be like this on Market Watch. Yeah, we will. Market Watch recently has been solo. It's been solo because there's a lot of restructuring that's happening in the team, and we are hosting a community AMA session anyway. We will discuss all of that and many more. But then a lot of our analysts are still working. From management, there's restructuring to some of what we do out here. So Market Watch will become as participatory as it used to be. And if you guys would like us to have Dr. Crypto in our Market Watch session, go to the comment section and let us know whether you're watching live, whether you're watching replay. We'll always have him not just in live stream section like this. We could always have him come live during Market Watch live. There's a lot of things you could learn from Dr. Crypto as a young person pushing into the market. There's a whole lot, and so we'll be bringing key opinion leaders out like this who are building, who have knowledge, who have value, and have integrity. If Dr. Crypto had no integrity, I won't be doing this with him. I won't. If you know me, I only associate with people who have been able to build integrity, in the space, and that's why he's here. So thank you all once again for being here. Dr. Crypto, you have any last words before we call this a day?
All right. First off, thank you for the invite. It's good to be here, and I really enjoyed the conversation. And would like to definitely do more. Right. So, and last word to our audience is that this is the crypto market, right? The crypto
Mm,
market is just we are just growing. So let's say we are still in the infant stage, right? So there is a lot of uncertainty, so don't expect that, okay, FOMC rate cuts, this is what you expect, and then you go all in, long in. No, you have to leave a margin for uncertainty, right? So
mm.
before you FOMO into the market, let the market give the direction it's going. You are not the one to force it. You are not the one to tell it where it will go. So wait
Mm.
for the market, let it decide the direction you
The
want to
direction.
go. Exactly. So don't try to gamble and then open a long position and this. All right. So just wait, um, follow the news and see where the momentum is heading. Thank you.
All right, thank you, all my friends. Those watching on X, those watching on. If you're watching on X, do well to follow, leave comments, leave question. If you're following us on YouTube, do well. Just subscribe. Why haven't you subscribed if you haven't? Do so, and leave comments. Join our Discord community, and don't forget, if you must invest or trade the cryptocurrency market, make sure you're investing and trading smartly, my friends. We're doing all of this because we love you. We want to see you grow. We want to see you do well as well. See you.